I've always wondered how much a shotgun's barrel length affects its velocity. There's sparse and conflicting data out there on this, so let's get some first-hand results and see what happens. This isn't going to be scientific or definitive by any means, just basic observations. So here's what we're going to do. I've got an array of shotguns here ranging anywhere from 36 inches down to about 6 inches. We're going to put 3 types of shells in them, see what happens. We got birdshot, buckshot, and slugs here that we're going to try. So in each one I'm going to shoot 5 of the Federal Trueball rifled Foster slugs, that's a mouthful, which have a listed muzzle velocity of 1,600 feet per second. And 5 shells of the Estate double-aught buck, which has a muzzle velocity of 1,325. And then 5 shells of the Federal 7.5 shot, which has a listed muzzle velocity of 1,200 feet per second. Now, the muzzle will be placed exactly 5 feet from the chronograph on this tripod here for each shotgun so we can stay consistent. We'll take some data, calculate some averages, chart everything out, and see what trends show up. Keep in mind here the sample size is very low, and we're not breaking things down to finer points like powder used or wad type, just a direct comparison between these exact type of shells. So first up is the Marlin 55 Goose gun with a full 36-inch barrel. Why do I even have this thing? Because it's funny, I guess. It's just ridiculous how long it is. So one thing to note about this one is it has a full choke at the end of that barrel, which means that it's constricting down towards the end of it. It's going to choke the shot or buckshot or slugs, whatever you put through it, down. Now that's important because it's really inadvisable to put slugs through it. They have to compress and swage through to make it out the barrel. That's important for 2 reasons. One, it's a little dangerous, not necessarily for yourself, but for the gun. It can harm it. And additionally, as far as the muzzle velocity is concerned, it is going to impart a lot of increased friction towards the end, so that may influence a little bit. We'll see how it does, though. Alright, so like I said, we're going to start with 5 rounds of the birdshot and work our way up to buckshot and then slugs. We have 1,153. 1,249. 1186, 1195, 1189. Okay, so this is the Goose gun with the double-aught Estate buckshot. I am going to be so sore by the end of this. 1395. 1399, 1509, 1396, 1374. Marlin 55 with the slugs now, and again, this is inadvisable, don't do it too often. 1374, did that even register? There goes the paper. 1675, there we go. 1654. 1652. 1666. So next up we have the Stevens Model 305 single shot 12-gauge shotgun. This one has a 26-inch barrel and a modified choke. Now keep in mind these first 2 are the only ones with chokes, all the rest will be just open cylinder. 5 rounds of birdshot. Actually, hold on. Let me take care of that target. Alright, like I said, first up, 5 rounds of the birdshot, 7.5. 1114. 1126. 1123. 1139. There's 1184. All right, next up we have the double-aught buck out of the 301. Ooh, stout. 1322. 1313. 1517. And now there's a train, so we're gonna wait. 1309. 1324. Okay, next up we have the slugs out of a single shot. If any of you guys have ever shot these before, you know why I don't want to do this. Here we go. 1592. That is stuck in there good. 1576. These are just not cooperating today. There it goes. 1550. 1592. Come on. And I'm just going to hold it. 1537. Yeah, for some reason they just don't want to come out of there. So next up we have the Spaz 12. This one has a 21.5 inch barrel. I'll be shooting it in pump action mode. I don't know if it would be any different in semi-automatic. Probably not too much, but I didn't bring enough ammo to test all of that. Come on. There we go. 1062. 1094. 1112. 1095. Shooting the hell out of my tripod. Last one. 1092. These things are a pain to load. You gotta hold down a button, press up on this. You gotta fight with the gun to be able to shoot it. Alright, buckshot. $13.04. $13.08. $12.95. $12.99. There goes the target. $13.11. Alright, slugs out Spaz 12. I'm not fixing that target. Sorry. $15.85. $15.36. $15.79. $15.72. $72. $15.41. Next up, Vepr 12, 19-inch barrel. $10.64. $10.99. $10.87. $10.77. $10.74. Vepr 12, double out buck. I forgot to put a new target up. Sorry. It's 12.55. 12.91. 12.75. 12.74. And 12.89. Alright, Vepr 12. Slugs. 1501. 1523. Magazine. It's alright, where we're going we don't need mags. $15.36. $15.55. Alright, next up, KSG 18-inch barrel. 1082, 1098, 1094, 1092, 1104. KSG double buck. 1280, 1307, 1284, 1290, 1307. Okay, KSG with slugs. 1530, 1572, 1522, 1550, 1570. So out of curiosity, what happens when you put a Salvo 12 on the end of that KSG? 1294. 1317, 1333, 1314, 1329. Double out buck. I'm sorry, I had those backwards. That was double out buck. This is birdshot. 291. 1029, 1005, 1099, 1111. KSG Salvo 12 with slugs. 1583, 1600, 1572, 1600, 1574, and that's it. Next up we have the Mossberg 14, or as it's more commonly known these days, the Mossberg Shockwave. 1021, 1046, 1031, 1034, 1037. Next up, Mossberg Shockwave, double out buck. 1218, 1215, 1230, 1223, 1235. Shockwave, slugs. 1436, 1415, 1444, 1458, 1449. Stepping into NFA territory, we have the Auto 5 short-barreled shotgun. 998, 1035, 1051, 1038, 1031. Auto 5, double out buck. 1217, 1225, 1202, 1223, 1185. Auto 5, slugs. 1391, 1433, 1378, 1439, 1371. Sawed off, side by side, 11 inches. 994, 981, 1031, excuse me, 1013, 1010, 1017. This is where it starts to get fun, guys. Double out buck, saw it off side by side. 1165, 1150, 1148, 1120. 1148. Alright, so now, slugs out of the sawed-off. 1297. 1359. 1320. 1371. Okay, those two cameras died, so we're stuck on head mounted. 1371 was the last one. 1259. I lost my hat. Super Shorty. 907. 876. 895. 893. 897. Super Shorty, double out buck. 1016. 1024. 1040. 995. 1017. Alright, Super Shorty, with slugs. 1102. 735. 1112. 1126. 913. Now guys, I'm sorry my cameras are all dying here, so I'm afraid that's going to do it for one day. And I know we can go just a little bit shorter, but that's another video for another day. So let's quickly talk about the results. Here's our first data page on the Birdshot. As you might have guessed, the velocity trends out pretty predictably, the 36-inch barrel being a clear winner and everything falling into line afterwards. Though the unsuppressed KSG, oddly enough, pulls slightly above its peers. There could be a few variables not controlled for that may account for this, such as a manual versus semi-automatic action, shouldering versus just holding it, or just random oddball shells which saw inconsistent powder burns that drag the average results down. Bulk field loads aren't really known for being consistent after all, and this is one of the downsides of having a smaller sample size. The only other noteworthy thing here is that only one single shot from the comically oversized shotgun crossed that threshold from the manufacturer's listed velocity. On to the buckshot, once again things are predictable enough, though interestingly the results effectively plateau with statistically insignificant variance from the 26-inch to 18-inch range. Once again, the KSG pulls slightly ahead, and unlike with the Birdshot, the prolonged exposure to the gas pressure from the silencer, and that is the official term, even if it is descriptively inaccurate, increases the velocity a noticeable amount. That's all for this one, and just to note, these graphs are adjusted to show the peaks rather than the whole scale, so keep that in mind as this may make them appear a little bit misleading. Finally, the slugs. Again, everything performs similarly down to the 18-inch mark, with another velocity boost from the Salvo 12. The Super Shorty had a couple of very low outliers, so I made two separate instances, one with and one without them included. It's possible that those readings were accurate, but it's also possible that measurements were disrupted by the wadding, or the bolt stabilizer, or even the muzzle flash itself messing with the chronograph. It's impossible for us to tell for now. It warrants further testing to be conclusive. So after seeing these results, would I trust the Super Shorty to take down a deer or fend off an angry grizzly bear? I don't know, man. Probably. But I'm not particularly well known for making wise decisions. Until next time, thanks for watching. Really think I don't pick up out here?